I was lucky enough to play Apex Legends Season 21 Upheaval early thanks to EA Creator Network. It's getting solos mode, new melee cosmetics, some decent meta changes, a massive Broken Moon update, and a lot more. I will cover all of these changes. Wait, okay, listen. Yes, we did play early. It was great, good fun. I spent a lot of time in Alta, and I want to talk about my experience and the coolest things you can do with her kit. She's a very fun legend. However, it got leaked. Everything got leaked, everything got posted online. So this video will be in a little bit of a different style than normal. I'm going to go back and forth between me talking and showing gameplay, and also the commentary style I do in the past, because if you've seen all the leaks, you're not going to want to watch this video anymore. So let's make it a bit more interesting. Let me show you what Alta's capable of. I'll show you all the Broken Moon changes. I'll show you my personal experience so you can get a real in-depth look at everything coming, as opposed to just sort of seeing leaks online and not getting the context. So yeah, we'll break down everything that's coming, like always, and then we'll cut back and forth between me talking like this and giving you some real juicy context on the content that's coming. It's a really cool season. We'll start with the commentary stuff, and like I say, we'll bounce back and forth. And at the end of the video, I'm going into depth on the mastery of Alta and all of the coolest things you can do with her. It's going to be awesome. Let's get into it. Let's start with Alta, and then after explain Solos mode, which is coming to Upheaval for half the season. For abilities, she's got a very interesting kit focused on opening up new ways to travel through the game. Starting with her tactical, Alta can literally open up a portal to travel through any wall, floor, or ceiling. It gives you some really powerful options for escaping fights, rotating, or initiating a fight. Once the portal is opened, anybody can go through it. Much like any other portal tech in Apex Legends, there is a max depth, so you can't just portal your way through mountains, but there are some cheeky spots that you can use to get some good rotations off. You can be some distance away from the surface before placing the portal. When you go through the portal, you'll be in the void for a second, so you can reposition yourself properly, ready for an attack. But others will be aware you've just portaled on them. There's going to be so much potential and counterplay for this ability, so it's super exciting. Alta's passive lets you see all death boxes through walls and loot each death box once to get a single item from it remotely, although you can't get shield swaps. Alta's ultimate is a tool where she sets up a remote portal that herself and both teammates can teleport to help reunite everyone together. Enemies can follow teammates through though. Before we look at Solos mode and then the massive new Broken Moon changes, here's a quick look through some of Alta's cosmetics. Okay, Solos is back. After the developers repeatedly said it goes against the core of what makes Apex Legends special, they told us that it still kind of goes against what they believe makes Apex stand out. However, they wanted to try and give it another shot because of all of the community requests for it. And this time, Solos really has changed a lot. There are a few new mechanics that should actually make it more enjoyable. Firstly, if you're within 50 meters of an opponent, a UI element appears to let you know. This way you aren't running around the map trying to find fights, and you don't get snuck up on out of nowhere. You also get passive healing just like Mixtape, and it will automatically start whenever you eliminate a player. The ring timings and sizes will be adjusted too, and another feature is respawn tokens. Everyone gets one extra respawn, so you don't have to worry about dying off drop, and if you don't use your respawn, later on it will convert to extra Evo points. Solos also has fully kitted weapons like in Straight Shot to help speed up looting. The whole experience should make Solos a bit more action-packed and fix the issues that come up when you don't have teammates helping out. Solos will be 50-player lobbies, and it will be replacing duos for the first half of Season 21 before going away. It's likely it will come back, maybe even as a permanent mode, but the devs are using this first release in Season 21 as a way to gather as much feedback from the mode as possible. There are also new Solos mode badges, which will be fun to try and earn. Alright, that's pretty much everything we know about Solos mode so far. So how about we jump in and check out the new Broken Moon map update, because it fixes so many of the major pain points from the past map, and then after that, we'll look at the new melee cosmetics and how they work, as well as the meta changes. Alright, let's talk about the Broken Moon map changes. If you watched my streams at any point, you know I call Broken Moon Broken Dreams, Broken Pain, Pain Moon, because it's just it's a frustrating map to play. It's really frustrating. There are some locations on the map that feel good to play, you know, like Atmos Station, it's quite fun to play in. There's a couple cool zipline buildings around, but the overall flow of the map is really uncomfortable. It's really difficult. There's some massive issues with it, and I just don't like playing Broken Moon. But this new Broken Moon, it's got some locations, but I don't even feel like I'm playing Broken Moon. There's never been a map update where it changes so much with relatively, on the surface, small amount of changes, right? There are a couple new locations, namely the biggest one being Quarantine Zone, which replaces Promenades. Now, with Promenades gone, you suddenly have this massive open area in the middle of the map, so you're not all flowing into this massive bottleneck, which fixes obviously one of the main issues of Broken Moon. And on top of that, I'll show some gameplay of the POI in the background, but that's just like part of the experience. They've arranged some POIs, like Breaker Wharf, the one right at the very edge of the map that was like an old Halo 1 map. They've moved that, compacted it, put it somewhere else. They've moved a bunch of stuff around, opened a bunch of different rotations, completely changed all of the like color scheme of the map. It looks a lot brighter, a lot more colorful. The skybox is really beautiful. And there were so many times where like I recognize parts of the map and then I start rotating and then I'm like, wait, I'm going the wrong way. Wait, where am I? Like, what's going on? It feels like a completely different map, and it's going to be hard to say how good the map will be when it's a full lobby, because we were only playing with 15 players. So kind of hard to get like a gauge on how the flow will be. But on the surface, it feels a lot better. It feels new. It's going to take a lot of time to learn the new map. It almost feels like a brand new map in that sense. And the new POIs are super fun. There are some areas that are a little bit confusing. You know, a lot of like high ground, low ground still, which I think is a bit of a problem. It does still create for some pretty awkward fights, but perhaps maybe there's some rotations that I don't know about. There's a whole world of like new places to explore, new routes through tunnels and stuff. All of the POIs are more interconnected. You don't have to go around massive mountains to rotate to like the core, for example. It's a lot easier. And they've removed some zip rails so that not everyone's just going straight in one direction to the center of the map. And then they've added a few more so that you can rotate around a little bit more frequently around the edges of the map. But overall, some pretty good changes. I'm really excited to try it on the public release. I think that it's going to be a test to see how it feels. 50 players in a solo match. Is it going to flow badly? Is it going to be good? But definitely a massive step in the right direction for Broken Moon. So back to the editing merchant, and I'll catch you guys later for some altar stuff. Some really cool altar stuff that we figured out. Okay, time for those meta changes. There are some pretty nice adjustments. The first I really want to share is that Ashe can now use her abilities offhand, which means she can shoot whilst throwing her arc snare. Crypto is getting some nice buffs. The old level 3 perk that increased Crypto's drain rage and EMP size is now being put into Crypto's base kit, and now he'll see the number of nearby squads on banners at all times without having to go into the drone, as long as the drone is up and active. Crypto gets new perks as well. Newcastle also got some changes. His ultimate will now intercept ordnance just like Watson's ultimate, at least whilst it's in its initial charged state. But it's only from nades thrown from the front and not from the sides. The mobile shield will now be deployed faster on Newcastle's base kit too. Catalyst also got some changes. Fuse, Ballistic, Octane, Caustic, and Bloodhound will get some legend changes too, but we'll have to wait for the patch notes for those. For weapons, the Wingman is going onto the floor with a boosted loader and no Skull Piercer hop-up, and it doesn't take magazines anymore, meaning it will only have 6 rounds per reload, unless of course you use the boosted loader. To replace the Wingman, the Devotion will go into the care package, and it's looking like it will be just as strong as it was last time it was in the care package. Alright, I'm back with a quick update. The trouble with editing Merchant, right, is he was living in the past with a document, and he didn't know what it was actually like to play the update. So I got a bit more information. Firstly, the Triple Take now takes a boosted loader as well. And the Devotion has a really interesting new mechanic. It has a massive reticle, and the longer you shoot, the tighter the spread gets in hipfire, until you can basically hipfire and be really accurate with. So you can maybe start ADSing and then you can un-ADS and finish off players with hipfire so that you're not getting that really bad LMG strafe speed. Pretty cool change. Feels really beastie. I did get my hands on it, but unfortunately I got in between a 1v1 between Fade and Simply Ashton. So obviously I ended up dying there, but I didn't really get to try it. It'll be fun to try on the public build. And now, my friends, it's time to talk about Alter. Perhaps one of the coolest characters they've released in a long time in terms of her personality and also her abilities. Do I think Alter is going to be competitively viable? I don't think so. However, she's going to be a really fun pub legend and probably alright in ranked. And it's all really down to her tactical. Her ultimate is okay, right? Let me start with the ultimate, right? What I've learned with the ultimate. And then we'll break it into the tactical, which I think is the most amazing part of her kit. The ultimate basically is, Simply Ashton put it really well. He said it's like a reverse death totem. But you don't get the death totem like extra health feature. So you put it somewhere, right? And you and your teammates can go off and do their thing. And if you take too much damage, you can then portal back to the location. And it has a really long radius. It's like 200 meters. And that can go like around walls and stuff. But the trouble is, it's very situational because oftentimes you'll put it down just in case your team get into a bad situation. And then it doesn't really ever get used. And I think one of the difficult things is it seems like a pub kind of ability, or an ability when you've got some player that's pushing up ahead and you want to pull them back. In like competitive, like you're not really going to be in a situation where you're running away, like far away from your teammates. So I think it's a bit of a lackluster ability in terms of competitive play, but it will help your randoms from straying too far away. So maybe it'll be useful in ranked. But yeah, the most important part of her kit has to be her tactical. And I think it's so cool. It opens up so many new ways to play. And there's two kind of main reasons why it's really awesome. The first is it's a new flanking potential. All right, let's say you have a player inside a building and two of your teammates push inside, and then this player starts running away. You can create a portal through the wall and catch them off before they escape. The fact that you can go through terrain and through walls opens up so much potential in terms of how you engage in fights and how you disengage. And it's really, really, really useful in that regard, right? And the second thing is just it's like you're going to be alive a lot longer once you learn how to use Alter's abilities. You can place down your tactical. I'm not sure on the length and how long it will be there for. But essentially, once it's down, you can go back and forth a few times. And if you get enough depth on the portal, right, you can go through, and the other player, then have the choice to go through the portal themselves to chase you, and then you can hold an angle on them, or they'll go around to try and catch you off on the other side without going to the portal. But by the time they get to you, you could just go back through because the teleport time is instant. No matter how deep the thing is, it is like that. You do have that initial phase thing where you're kind of like vulnerable because you're going to be in phase and they're going to see where you are. But you pair that with her perk that tells you the legend's health, you can quickly like check what their health is, whether you can peek it, whether you need to go back through the portal. There's so much like versatility there. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be a hard skill to master, but those that master Alter's Tactical are going to have a lot of fun, and they're going to do some crazy outplays, and it's going to be really, really cool. I cannot wait to see players push Alter's Tactical to the max. It's going to be amazing to watch. Really, really satisfying. There are a few different things you can do with the Tactical, and I think that it's going to be confusing when you first play her. It's going to be really, really confusing. Firstly, it will sometimes create a beam that you can interact with to go like upwards, but this will only work if you look directly up at a ceiling or like a roof or something. If it's like on a wall or a slanted edge, that beam will not happen. You have to directly do it at a flat surface above you. And when you do that, you teleport upwards through it, which is pretty cool. But otherwise, it is very much you place it somewhere and then you have to go and walk through the portal. There's also some really good like indicators. If you hold the tactical instead of pressing it, you will see the entrance portal and also where the exit portal is. And there'll be some instances where the game is just trying to figure out where to put you. So it won't put you through the other side of the wall like you think, and it may put you like at a different angle, at different places. And you need to like look and read that information to know where you're going to be, because that allows you to get a lot of outplay potential, because you see where it's going to go, and only other experienced Altar players are going to know like where it's leading before they jump through the portal and try and chase you, which is really interesting. Another really interesting thing, you can kidnap people with this. It's going to be hard, all right? But let's say you're in the end game, right? You have like one of those multi-story buildings like in Stacks on World's Edge. The game is ending there. Every single floor has like a team on it, right? And you're on the bottom floor. Situation is not looking great for you. There's a team above you. You can place a portal above on the ceiling and it will instantly send them down to you. But there's a bit of a catch. Only if they're moving. If they stay still, it will not teleport you. However, if you're strafing like this, right, and you teleport above someone, they'll be sucked down towards you, and they're going to be so taken aback that it's going to be like an F3 kill, basically. It's pretty awesome. There's a lot of potential for Altar's kit. I'm really excited to play her more. I would just say, go into the firing range and take a good look at her abilities and how they work before you jump into the game, because otherwise you're going to get confused. A lot of times you want to try and create an Altar portal, and you want to try and use it because you want to use her abilities. But what will happen is you just create it like on the other side of like a block or a rock, and you realize when you go through it, the enemy is just going to be waiting there for you to shoot you. So it's, you know, trial and error. You got to learn how to master it. It's definitely going to take like a few hours to get to grips with it and before you really understand it. There's also a really interesting counterplay that comes to using the portal, because when you place the portal, right, what it does is it diverts attention, because you create a portal to try and attack an enemy. They now have to look at the portal and also the angle that you may otherwise push without the portal. So for example, you do it on the roof and you're below. Do you climb up or do you take the portal? I would say a little cheesy trick to begin with is every time you place a portal, it's going to make an audio cue. It's going to make people look at the portal, and then you just don't use the portal and you just push them naturally. And it works like most of the time until people figure out that, oh, wait, they may not use this portal as soon as they place it, right? There's a counterplay there, and it's going to divert attention from your enemies and really bamboozle them and confuse them. So I'm really hyped for Altar. She's super fun, and I think you guys are going to love her too. Really awesome character, and we'll see when the season goes live. I've been editing this, and I just realized that I forgot about one thing: the cosmetics, the new melee items. Almost started like processing my video, and then I remembered. So let's talk about that, the final thing. Before I do, I just want to share a bit of like thoughts on everything. I don't know if you'd like seeing me talk like this. If you don't, let me know and I won't do it anymore. But I thought it would be nice to try, because basically what happened was we got flown out to play the new season. It was really cool. We got to see a lot of passionate creators, passionate devs who are working on the game, people who basically traveled across the world to come and check out the new content, make content about it. And then it got leaked whilst we're like working so hard on it, and kind of sucks. So I already had my video planned and made and everything, and then it gets leaked after like, I mean, when you consider all the travel time and stuff, we're talking like multiple days of just constant work and effort just gone down the drain. So I had to try and think of a way to salvage this. So that's why we've come in and sort of got myself on the mic, and I'm just talking about the changes in a bit more of a interesting, in-depth look at the end of the day, because perhaps that'll provide a bit more insight as opposed to just kind of like contextless leaks that don't give you much information. But yeah, I would say the best way to experience the game, honestly, is just to go play it yourself. So don't mind me, don't mind these leaks, go check it out yourself. Okay, so cosmetics. We've got this new system where you get there's two ways to get this currency, which can be used to buy these new melee items. You saw the Cobalt Guitar. It's not in collection events. It is a purchasable currency. And when you purchase the currency, you can use that to buy like a component. There are many different themes, and each theme has, I think, 4 or 5 different components. You can mix and match to make your own sort of design, you know. But yeah, there's no like loot boxes involved or anything. You just buy the currency and then choose what you want to get, buy each item. It's a bit like if you want to get the higher tier items within that theme, then you have to buy the items before it. So that's something, you know, to keep in mind, that you can't just say, oh, I want this 4th tier item. I have to buy the other ones first. So that's kind of a bit of a shame. But on the plus side, some of the currency to use to buy these melee items are in the battle pass. Now, I don't know how much, and I don't know how far that's going to get you into purchasing your own melee item. It may be that you have to spend multiple seasons grinding battle passes to kind of build the melee item you want for free. But that's pretty cool. But we'll see when it goes live. We didn't really get to see the battle pass properly, so I can't really speak about pricing or anything. I don't know. At the end of the day, it's just cosmetics, you know. I think the most fun part is all the other content. So yeah, please let me know how you feel about this video style. Let me know what you think about the new season. I'm going to be playing a bunch. Maybe you got bored and you maybe even wanted to click off the video because it got a bit boring with all this talking. If that's the case, just let me know and I'll tone it down a bit. But yeah, appreciate all the support, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, cheerio.